When it comes to TV audio, a lot more people are starting to turn to soundbars to get that really rich audio experience. And who can blame them? TV speakers have never been that great, and as TVs have been getting smaller, their sound profiles have been getting worse. If you've ever looked at something like a high-end soundbar, the name Sonos has probably come to mind with their Beam and Arc models, but these are going to run you up a lot of money. Sonos does have a cheaper option with their Sonos Ray. It's their cheapest soundbar, but it still comes in at well over £250. 280 to be precise. But how does it stack up against the competition at this price range? Is this a good starting model if you're looking to really upgrade your sound? Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Bite Size Clue. The Sonos Ray is actually one of the most compact soundbars that I've ever seen, particularly from Sonos. It comes in at 55.7cm wide, 7cm tall and just 9.3cm deep. It comes in black or white. For me, I went with the black model here, but that white model might just look better in your space. No matter what room you have, one of these models will suit it perfectly. Along the top of the device, we have the capacitive controls to be able to turn the volume up, down, and also skip tracks. Inside, we have 4 speakers, 2 tweeters, and 2 mid-woofers. This is pretty standard for soundbars, but when we're getting into the price range of £280 or closer to that £300 mark, more and more soundbars are starting to add bass and subwoofers directly into their products. That's something that Sonos hasn't done here, but quite honestly, I don't miss it. Taking a look around the back of the device, we look at some of the connectivity, and that's where we start to see things really lacking. The only input that we have here, outside of the normal Sonos connectivity, is an optical in. There is no ARC or eARC support here at all, which means that you cannot have a 7.1 surround sound system, and there is no support for any of the Dolby technologies. For most people, optical might just be enough. It's not like the quality is going to degrade quite significantly. It's just that you're going to be losing out on some of those nice to have features, especially when you're looking at spending this much on a soundbar. A lot of the competitors do have this technology built in. Outside of the direct TV input, we do of course have the normal Sonos inputs. We've got Wi-Fi here, which can use AirPlay and a few other options as well, or just directly within the Sonos app. There is no Bluetooth here, and we'll talk a little bit about why this could be problematic a little later. Along the back, there's that Ethernet cable as well, so we can connect this up via Wi-Fi or via the Ethernet cable, whichever is easiest for you. As with most Sonos products, the setup was super duper simple. Basically just plugged it in, loaded up the Sonos app, and it found it and went through the setup process. Genuinely, it's never been easier to set up a full home cinema system really quickly. We do have TruePlay here, which will use microphones built into your phone to audibly change the sound based upon the room that it's in. It has you doing this weird walk where you're waving your phone about. It looks pretty stupid, but it's quite a quick process and genuinely does make quite a big difference to the soundscape. It's super easy to add additional speakers to your setup as well. For myself, I've got a left and right channel with the Era 100s. You can add something like the Sonos Sub or the Sub Mini, but when it comes to something like the Sonos Sub, you're paying 3 times the amount just for the sub as you were for the soundbar. Before we continue with this review though, I do just want to say that if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then 1, lucky you. And 2, go down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload. Overall, the sound quality for this soundbar is spectacular. I genuinely don't think I've heard better sound from speakers within this price range. When it comes to people speaking, they sound so crisp and clear. And I was genuinely quite surprised by that due to its lack of dedicated speakers for this. Bass tones can feel a little bit muddy, but that's mainly because we don't have any subwoofers or anything built into the soundbar itself. It really isn't a problem though, because I don't want to upset my neighbours with a ton of bass. It wasn't missed, but I feel like it could have had a little bit more of a punch to it. The soundbar does get nice and loud for films, games, or even music. For its size, the audio really does pack a punch, and I think it's one of the best price to performance ratio speakers I've ever seen. There truly is a room-filling sound from these things. There's a super low response time as well because we're running through that optical cable, so it's perfect for games. I've actually been playing a lot of Cyberpunk 2077 recently with this setup, and it just sounds incredible and really helps to immerse you within that content. There's a ton of EQ and things you can do within the app to really make the sound experience yours and personalise it to how you want it to sound. Sonos did recently update their app for iPhones, iPads and Android devices, and to say it was a bit of a botched update was being kind. It's not a great app experience right now. They are actively working on making it better, but if you're planning on buying a speaker right now from Sonos, just be wary that the app experience is somewhat lacking. So if you are looking for an absolute sweet spot in terms of price to performance and wanting to get into the Sonos ecosystem, then this might well be the device for you. It is worth keeping in mind though, that for the most part, when it comes to controlling this and turning the volume up and down, because we don't have ARC or EARC support here, we can only use remotes that have infrared. So things like Bluetooth remotes, which are becoming more and more common recently, especially with the LG TVs, will not control this soundbar, and it can be pretty frustrating. Thankfully though, I've got an Apple TV and the Apple TV remote works perfectly fine with this. So it is worth just keeping in mind that your remote may not be able to control the Sonos Ray, and it just means that you're going to have to keep getting up to physically change the volume on the top of the device. So there we have it guys. That is my review of the Sonos Ray. I genuinely do think that this is one of the best sounding speakers for its price on the market right now. Of course, there are other options on the market that will give you more bass through a dedicated subwoofer or something similar, but the audio clarity that comes from the Ray is second to none. Why don't you let me know what you think of the Sonos Ray in the comments section down below. While you're down there as well, get subscribed because it genuinely does mean the world to me. Anyway guys, my name has been Robert, this has been Bite Size Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.